Hi guys, welcome to Film Companion South.
Hi.
First of all, we're just looking at you guys. You know, it's some of my favorite filmmakers sitting in the same stage and to talk about one piece of content, one series. So tell me about that. You know, you guys came up with the idea. Did you guys, when you're writing, did you think about, oh, which director should make this? Because they're really crazy directors who I want to see more of. You know?
Actually, what happened was that was not the initial idea we started with, frankly. So when we were writing it, the intention was that we will direct it also.
Yeah.
But then somewhere down the line, we had another commitment which we had to do at the same time. And Amazon was pretty confident with the content that let's get into the collaborative process. Let's look at bringing in directors.
Huh.
So it took us a little while to process that.
And it's still like your baby kind
That's
of.
what, yeah.
And yeah, like every word we wrote and all. And we obviously, we take a long time also.
Huh.
So that one initial hesitancy was there. And actually, when Amazon came and told us, it made a lot of sense. And I think with long form especially, you need to do that process. You can't be doing everything. No? You need to do that process and it'll add much more value to the product also.
And in hindsight, it seems like, damn, we should have just started with that idea. Speeded up the process by at least 6 months then. But yeah, I think with this space especially and with the right collaborators,
No,
it's a
that
good
was
way to
also
work.
there. We got lucky. I mean, if we didn't get like good directors or like, good attitude, like, with an open mind, then it might all go down the drain. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just, yeah, I got
Yeah,
lucky.
because it's like, and at what stage did you guys kind of get them on board? Was it written?
No, it was
Everything was
completely
done.
written. But then, so what we did was when we called Bramma and Anu, we gave them a episode by episode breakdown.
Yeah.
Just to see if they're interested in it. Then once they showed interest, we gave them the whole script. So after reading the script only, they then the decision was made whether they're okay with coming on board or not. So yeah, it was at that part of the process. But the flexibility is since we were producing it and writing it, and our equation with Amazon is great. Whatever inputs we got from our wide-ranging discussions, going scene by scene, episode by episode, all that could be incorporated in the script.
Yeah.
So there was one round of corrections we did in where fine-tuning the script, where Brahma felt like maybe we should address this
A little
point a little
tweaking
more.
This
and
is
like,
like way before shooting.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
5 months before shooting,
Yeah.
we came on board.
No, actually, yeah, we had like endless discussions about each episode and each character and character graph, and also we are all on the same board.
By the time it went to shoot, we had from our locked version of the script, it had gone to another version plus another version. So 2 versions down, that was considered the lock script for the shoot.
Yeah.
And during the shoot also, there will be improvisation. Actually, both of them would call up and ask like, this one thing is working, shall we go with that? Like that kind of feedback was also happening from there.
It is very open, so they'll also like check with us if that's okay, and then
So that means, okay, once you've got your script locked and then you kind of you trust them with it, then is it a process of completely letting go and saying, let them take the calls?
so it's not a question of trust. I mean, without trust, we won't call them. So it's not about trust or like their ability to deliver. See, but this is like a first time for a lot of things. First time we are doing a long form series. And first time 2 people are doing like first 4 episodes and the second 4 episodes, and like we had like a bunch of technicians whom we worked with, we really trust to work for both of them. So our cameraman, DOP, musician, music director, and editor, and all that. And also it's the first time we're handling production at such a large scale.
Yeah.
So lot of equations, and it's not like they are familiar with each other either.
Yeah.
So we were also there. I mean, during the first schedule, we were fully there. So just to make sure all parts are like moving and like it's all a well-oiled
Everybody
machine
plays
kind of
nice
thing.
to each other. I think a large part of this was actually figured out during our tech recce's. So every location we went, that became another space where we kind of understood how they're looking at staging the scene, how they're looking at covering the scene. Our DOP was also there. So the conversations on how is it going to be shot, what are the angles going to be taken, I think we got into that much detail. So this job of a showrunner, which is what we did on that, I think it's basically that. I mean, you get in a lot of creative talent, And more than anything else, I think we just make sure that the original intent, the original vision of what was started is maintained throughout. So obviously Brahma and Anu bring a certain directorial flair to what they do.
Yeah.
So that is what we are looking for also. So it is not as, I mean, you would have heard this famous example of this big US director who's doing a show listing out an f-stop and the two lenses by which the whole series has to be shot. So
that wasn't the case, right?
No, that wasn't the case. Because I think there needs to be that room at which you play, because predetermining everything to that might look superb when you write about it, but when you're actually executing it, it just puts you in a corner. Both of them are great at handling emotions. Both of them are great at bringing the nuances of people out. And in staging scenes in their way. Actually, the way Brahma does it and Anu does it is very different. But it all coalesces into the whole.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this job of a showrunner is new, of what, I mean, like the system is new. So, yeah, I mean, everybody's figuring it out as it goes. Luckily, we got the best of collaborators possible. Otherwise, it'll be like stepping on each other's toes. So, all decisions were taken by consensus.
Yeah, it is a very democratic process.
Yeah.
So, and there's been, like, touch wood, no tension between the four of us forever. So that's
in terms of casting or choice of colors, costumes, or on the edit and everything, it's been openly collaborated.
One thing we are very kind of worried about is, like, how the pitching will be, like in terms of actors and how, like the drama, you can either pitch it like really high, or you can pitch it like too flat that it doesn't feel dramatic. So that right pitching, both of them got, that was actually, like, that is something which you can't put on paper, or you can't determine how each director will do. So that pitching was right, half our tension was kind of to rest, actually.
The first few days when we were there on shoot, that was the one thing which we were keeping an eye on. What is the pitch of the whole show as such? Because that's purely a directorial call. The script could have the same line and it could be pitched in a bunch of different ways. And we were not going for a very art house kind of pitch, nor were we going for a very
super dramatic,
overtly commercial kind of pitching.
Real, naturalistic.
Naturalistic is the word.
Okay.
So it needs to feel real, but we shouldn't lose out on the essence of drama.
Have that cinematic quality.
Correct.
Real, it's like, if it gets too slow, it won't be engaging. So that pitching, when both of them got right, then everything else can be.
I think, and when we saw Kutram Kadidal and Kirumi, we felt that was the pitching. I mean, like, why we approached them is that, like, when we talked about how this should be presented, so our first references were Kutram Kadidal and Kirumi. So let's get them only. Then it works.
This is a question to both of you. So how did you kind of, I mean, all four of you, I'm guessing, but then how did you guys figure out who should direct which episodes and in what order? Especially because if, from what I gather, if somebody's directing the last 4 episodes, then it's already at a very dramatic point, right? It's like action. The other person has to deal with all the introduction and the character sticking. So how did you guys figure out that conflict?
So it was like, I chose the first 4 quickly. I just went to them and said, "Oh, first 4 will be mine," because I think that portion of the show is something which I haven't done in my previous 2 films. So that was an opportunity for me. So I thought that has to be grabbed quickly, and I think Anu had less choice.
Anu actually wanted the 4th and 5th episode.
He wanted the 4th.
4th, when he read
I remember that call itself.
So you took 4, he got 5.
He's done first 4 episodes. I've done the last 4 episodes.
Was that ready when you went in? Like, did you finish?
No.
It's not shot in order.
Shooting simultaneously. Like, same day we'll have, as they were popularly called, D1 and D2.
So how we schedule it is primarily based on artist availability, location permissions, and which city we are shooting in. So, like, take a location like Parthiban's character Shanmugam, his house. His house we shot in Ooty. So there was about, I think, 6 days of shoot over there, where there was work for both of them.
Okay.
But it will also have to be scheduled in such a way like that. Maybe on the first day, Bramma shot for half a day, then Anucharan shot for the second half of the day. Then the next day would have been completely Bramma. The third
so
day would have been
many
completely
times.
Anucharan. So it was a mix of our. We have, I think, 78 versions of the schedule or something like that. Because with so many characters and actors, no, scheduling is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And you take a simple house scene, you might need all these characters, and one person would be missing on that day.
Yeah.
So okay, then we'll have to shift it to the next day when that person is available. So it was a very logistics based schedule, but
And-
they had to face the.
And the first, yeah, he came up and told I'll do the first 4, and he was saying 4, 5. But with whatever interactions we had actually kind of formed a similar kind
Okay,
of thing. Because
Is that
he's a
based
little
on,
more.
is that because you guys feel they're specialists at something?
When you speak to them also, initially he came across a little reserved and little
Who?
quiet, Anu.
Oh, okay.
And now I don't see that. And Brahma will describe the world, he'll be very elaborate. So I thought the world building.
Yeah.
So the first 4 episodes,
Oh,
first
excellent.
few
Okay.
episodes with world building, or he might, and when the plot kicks in and that,
Yeah.
So,
those
and there's
descriptions.
also
so he'll be-
like a cultural base for the show. Brahma is actually pretty well versed with that space. He's been doing street theatre
yeah, of course,
and
yeah.
all that for many years.
Yeah.
So to set up that, we actually felt Brahma would be able to handle those things pretty well. And one of the things which we really liked about Kirumi was the way the plot and character blended so well.
Yeah.
So which is what we thought was the requirement for episodes 5 to 8.
Yeah.
When all the big reveals start happening and rapid surprises start getting thrown around and stuff like that. So we just felt this was a natural fit, and yeah, I think it kind of
think
worked
it
for
worked
us.
But then tell me about this process of getting that tone, like catching the vision that they have, right? How difficult was that? And did you guys try like looking at the other person's footage to kind of understand if you guys are matching?
No, actually, I think we didn't. First of all, it was not a very difficult thing because
Yeah.
it was like we as people, I think we share a very common sensibility. That is very important, and I think that became very evident when we started speaking. When we started our discussions, it became very evident, and then after that, okay, whatever I am thinking, that is what they have been thinking. If that was clear, then no point in checking with them again and again. It became very easy for us, and I think for me it came up with a natural flow.
Same for
Same
you?
with me. Yeah, we had an extensive pre-production process, and we had so many discussions in that, and we made sure we came on the same page before we went to shoot. So it was kind of all good.
Actually, Anu was mentioning. So they'll be on sets on the same day. So you'll see him stage something, or he'll see him stage something. Okay, he's
If
killing
it's
it. I
better
need
than-
to kill it more.
There's a sense
So
of
that-
competition in there.
Yeah.
It was healthy competition.
Yeah.
And also for story wise also, if there was a setup that is being made in this episode, the payoff would be back in 7th or 8th episode. I have to make sure that it is
Yeah, of
seamless.
course. That's
So,
he can blame you.
but yeah, so for
It's
that,
like, I think now the tension is always there. No, the first 4 episodes becoming so important.
Yeah.
For setup.
That burden is always there.
Yeah.
You can see me in that in my face now.
But then at one stage, did you guys kind of decide that, okay, it doesn't have to look like a Pushkar Gayathri movie?
No, I think it's all in service of the script.
The script, yeah.
Yeah, that's
After you give it to them, it's like it doesn't matter. Let them see it the way they have seen it.
like I don't know. See, directorially.
Can I answer this, please? Because I think not only Suzhal, in the previous films also, they haven't owned in that kind of that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It is like, I think what I have also learned from them in this entire process is like they are giving it to the technicians, not only to the directors, also to the DOP, also to the art director, and unleashing them to their maximum. And I think you can't see, not only in this, I think they are so democratic with all the technicians and all the people who are working with them, and they're making it proper teamwork.
Hmm.
It is not that, I think that is the good thing of one creator. I think that is what is evident in Suzhal also.
We believe in that the collaborative process. Even when we are directing our films and all that, what we would like to define as our creative style, I think has more to do with primarily the writing. There are certain things which you might discover at some point of time, but from Orampur to quarter cutting to Vikram Veda to Suzhal to whatever we are doing now, there is a larger
Signature.
perspective of the world, which is there across all. It will be there because that's the way the brain is built. So that we will keep plugging in. Otherwise, in terms of visual style, what we are trying to accomplish in terms of camera movement and all that, it is always in service of the drama. It's always in service of the story. So we are not sitting on a style and trying to make the scene fit into it. The scene grows organically on paper, and similarly, the scene grows on screen also.
So it's in that fluid state.
It's I think, see, we are generally very clear on this is the shot we want, this is the shot we want, kind of thing. But again, that is how do we put it? Like, let's say we are trying to capture the moment, not try to make the moment look like something. So there is a difference in that. Though the moment itself is created by us, we want one magic happening over there, and the magic needs to be captured. So it just doesn't mean like you put one wide shot and okay, two guys stop each other kinds. There will be a technique to it, but you don't want the technique to overpower the storytelling. So there is that. It's a fine line which we keep drawing, because it's very actually easy for us to get into that space where we say we will create this particular style. Okay, we'll do this dogma. We will do this film noir.
And like, for us personally, like a lot of filmmakers or their work whom we really like, when they reach that my style, my this thing, their work starts deteriorating.
Yeah.
Oh,
As in,
okay,
it just get too carried away in their head somehow that
the
the
staging,
content, I mean, it's
overtakes.
still
staging
working on
becomes
the
very
old
forced.
glory.
It's, it
See,
feels like
see what I'm doing.
it is always look at me
Yeah.
kind of staging, no? So, and for us to resist that thing is important, because the technique part of it, is actually easy. If you're hanging around enough within this field, you can devise ways by which to make it look like, wow,
And the
how did
kids
they
are
take
doing
that
it with
shot?
like, smaller
Yeah, yeah.
cameras.
And with an iPhone, you can.
With nothing, they're doing a great job.
So the temptation for a director is always to resist that, to resist that idea of don't look at me, look at what's happening at the story. At least that's the school of thought we come from.
Actually,
and
that,
both of them
we are
also come
very-
from
yeah.
the same school of thought.
Like earlier when I was saying pitching also, so it is not about look what I have done as a director. It is for the scene, for the narrative, for the character. So that initial thing, when that got knocked off, okay, then we are in good hands.
So finally, my last question. See, all of us kind of grew up watching shows like Sopranos and like Prison Break and all those kind of things. But mini series or like a television serial is never aspirational for us creatively. Like there's no question of anybody thinking in series, because it's only about the movies, right? Okay, you have to make 2 hours, 2.5 hour movies. But then now, look, this is something that is kind of like a pioneering kind of a thing happening in Tamil, where like a series, like filmmakers are making a series. So what do you kind of see as the future of this? Like, do you think a generation is going to probably wake up thinking that, okay, we don't have to dream in cinema, we can dream in series. You can develop the instinct for like cliffhangers, which I guess none of us really ever had. So what do you kind of see that a show like this?
See, these are different mediums of storytelling.
Yeah.
So cinema is a distinct way by which we tell stories, and this long form storytelling. And it's exactly that. It's just that you have a much longer period to tell a story. So you have that much more breadth. So this is a skill which has not been developed much in India.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
only over the past few years that it's started coming in. They will coexist. I think, the simplest example I can give is there's a need for short stories. There is a need for novels.
Yeah.
So film irrespective of what other people might say, in my mind is a short story. That's all there is story in a feature film,
Yeah.
the length of a short story. In long form storytelling, it's the equivalent of novels in terms of character arcs, setting up of situations and how they resolve and all that. And people read both. People read short stories and novels, maybe even at the same time. Read one short story, read a novel,
Yeah.
read a short story in between when
We
you're
want
reading
to
the
do
novel.
both. We want to do both films and series. And for us, I mean, the writing process has been, because we are also not familiar with it. I mean, film we are kind of, sort of figured out a little bit.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Takes a
kind
long
of. Still,
time.
yeah. But this one is still even more at a very, very nascent stage. So the challenge, of like, writing so many episodes, like, so overall maintaining an arc and like, with the touch of a button, you can just watch something else. So you need to retain that attention, but you have so much time, so you need to give that depth. So the shows you're saying, The Sopranos or The Wire,
Yeah.
see the depth Wire can get, no, it's not possible with a 2-hour film.
Movie, yeah.
So that is what is actually very, very exciting and
So
very.
our late 90s, early 2000s, when we were in film school, Sopranos and The Wire had just come. Sopranos was just getting over, Wire was just starting. In our heads, those are landmark times when storytelling for us took a turn. Till then, nothing else had. I mean, all the other shows which we watch on TV, Baywatch,
Yeah. Friends.
Simpsons
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Friends and all that. But when Sopranos came and followed quickly by The Wire, the way we started seeing the world itself changed. The world of telling stories. So, see, yeah, primarily we are storytellers. So, ideally, we should be doing this and that. Now, it's just a question of how do we balance out the time on this. So, I think this is a good step.
And
towards where
yeah,
we
like
wanna go.
I mean, with this form, no, we get to work with, collaborate
Yeah.
with more people. It's a lot of fun. It's great times. It's good times. And another thing is, see, film, it can be pan-Indian. I mean that's like the thing word now. But with series, no, I mean, Amazon is taking this to like I guess it's the
30
first show
languages
to
or something.
Yeah, they're dubbing it in
dubbing it
30
in 30 languages and whatever
240
240
regions.
territories or something. So we are very excited. For creators, is the most exciting time to be in. Your story, somebody somewhere can watch at the same time. So that I think is like super exciting.
But it's a lot of work to write a series. So,
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much
Thank
for
you,
talking.
thank you,
I'm
thank
so
you.
excited. I just watched the trailer. I'm so excited to watch it next week. Thanks again for talking to me.
thank you,
you.
thank you.